Hi everyone, welcome to CCA live webinar on this Wednesday. Myself Harmeet Sani, a CCA Register Migration Agent. Today I'm going to discuss a very hot topic on comparison between the employer-sponsored visas and the general skill migration visas. And also discuss the strategic breakdown on for onshore international students, temporary graduate 485 applicants, and skilled professionals seeking permanent residency in Australia. So this seminar is quite important for all of you guys who are especially on temporary visas in Australia. So generally everyone seeking general skill migration in terms of skill visas like 189, 491 or 190, or some seeking employer sponsorship in terms of 482, 186 or 494 visas. So I'm just going to comparison for these visas for the coming this financial year. So according to new financial year terms and strategy, which visa pathway is more beneficial and more suitable for you. So let's begin with our seminar today. Uh, if we compare between these two sort of GSM and employer sponsor visa categories, as you know that the general skill migration based upon the point tested system. Uh, in general skill migration, the point score for especially for IT, engineering, business, that raised to 85 to 90 plus points. On the other hand, if we talk about employer sponsored visas, there is no point test required, so zero reliance on the point test calculation or competitive rank pool. If we talk about the invitation rounds, so quarterly invitation rounds are created for general skill migration, and they create long waiting period in skill select pool. So you have to wait for the invitation. Only when you got the invitation, only then you eligible to apply these sort of visas. But on the other hand, for employer sponsorship categories, there is no as such waiting period, so median processing time. So these visas are processed very quickly, and we have seen that 482 visas are possible to process within as minimum as 21 days. We have find the visa grant notification, especially for 482 visa. And if we talk about the nomination phase, in general skill migration, there are restrict tight seat allocations for subclass 190 and subclass 491 visas. Especially if you see the big state like NSW, Victoria, Queensland, Western Australia, in the previous financial year, they have very tight seat allocation across these all multiple states. And similarly, there are special quota allocated for subclass 189 as well. But on the other hand, there is no as such seat allocation system exist in case of employer sponsored categories. So there is a direct guaranteed pathway for permanent residency in terms of subclass 186 if you are holding subclass 482 visa, especially in the TRT stream. Let's talk about these visa subclasses one by one. First, talk about general skill migration. I'm talking about 189 visa. So this visa is a skill independent direct permanent residency visa. Means permanent residency is granted directly upon when you get this visa. And also provide complete freedom to live and work anywhere in Australia, and there is no employer or state nomination is required. The key criteria for this visa subclass is, first of all, the applicant must be age less than 45 years of old, and the occupation you are going for, that has to be on the MLT SSL list. You must have positive skill assessment and competent English. Minimum 65 point threshold you have to meet. Means on the point pool, if you meeting minimum 65 point, you are eligible to apply expression of interest for this visa. But The main challenges, or we can say pitfall, when we wait for this visa subclass is, although it is saying that minimum threshold is 65, but actual invitation occurred, the peoples are getting uh, minimum 85 to 90 plus points, what we have seen, and compare the previous financial years. And similarly, limited target occupation, heavily favored by Department of Home Affairs, because there is a long list of MLT SSL list which are eligible to apply for this visa subclass, but most of the time department heavily favored the particular class of occupations. Like in the previous financial year, they favored health sector, IT sector, energy, renewable energy sector, and the trade sector mainly. So not all occupations are invited, so it depends upon the government policies. And the third main pitfall is the high uncertainty for 485 visa holders when their visa going to expire. Means you can't apply this visa directly. Even if your 485 going to expire, you can only apply this visa if you get the invitation. So that's the major drawback. If you are waiting for subclass 189, it's really very competitive. And similarly, if we talk about subclass 190 visa, which is a skill nominated state sponsored visa, it is also a permanent visa for Australia, and give you 5 extra bonus point towards your total point score. Uh, but uh, there are some limitation. First of all, I talk about the commitment when you granted this visa. So there are moral commitment you have to do with the state government to live and work in the nominated state for at least for 2 years. And also it is state specific, because you are relying on the state nomination. So ROI, EOI submission process have to be followed. And each state having their own local residency and employment criteria, so that has to be fulfilled to get nominated by the state to get the invitation for these visa subclasses. And also the other limitations are like state allocation cap, means seats allocation across various states. So these allocation cap quickly exhausted each financial year. So they usually start state usually start giving invitation from August onwards, when the financial year start. They wait for 1 or 2 years until the seats allocated by the federal government to the different state, and when as soon as they get the seats allocation, they start their monthly or quarterly invitation round. But most of the seats allocation round will quickly exhaust it till April or May, before the end of financial year. So you have to take care of these things as well. How many seats are allocated in which state you are currently residing and working in. And say also there is extended state processing delay before Department of Home Affairs visa invitation you got. So state check their priorities and considerations before nominating you for this visa subclass. And most unlucky thing is the unpredictable state prioritization change. So state give time to time according to what the political state is, and what the current agenda for the state is, and the priority frequently changes time to time. So it's all depends upon the state government law and policies. Now, if we talk about employer sponsor visa, which is generally called skill in demand visas or SID visa, the first of all, I'm talking about subclass 482. This is a temporary visa but can be granted for up to 4 years. You have to work only for 2 years on this visa, and then there is a permanent residency pathway is available when you worked on this visa at least for 2 years. And other flexibility is, if you want to change the employer, you want to change the job, that is still possible, and you will get 180 days, which is approximately half a year. So you have the time if you want to change your employer, but make sure that you need nomination from that employer if you are going to change it, and its processing time is also very quick compared to other general category visas. So this visa having three types of streams. One is core skill stream, specialist skill stream, and labor agreement stream. The core skill stream is the main stream where most of the applicants are sponsored. So the primary pathway for most international graduates and skilled professionals under this stream. So employer have to meet the Smith salary threshold, which is currently 79,423 for this financial year. And your occupation must be listed on skill occupation list, which is CSOL list is called, and it includes technology, health, business, engineering, trade. So all sort of occupations are listed on this stream. And basically the minimum requirement is you have to meet some work experience at requirements and qualification requirements as well. So if you meeting those requirements, meeting at least 1 year of work experience requirements, so then you are eligible to apply this visa. So in the second stream, which is called specialist skill stream, so most of the NGESCO occupations are included in this stream, but the most common occupation under this stream which are sponsored are like senior managers, senior technical professionals who are getting salary more than 146,000. So the actual figure is 146,576, which employer have to promise when they sponsor someone under this category. The third category is labor agreement stream, so which is tailored for key sector under approved government labor agreements, so which address regional and specialized industry shortages and may offer salary and English language exemptions, or can say concessions as well. And it is generally the occupation like aged care and disability services care, they adopt, they have to go under labor agreement scheme if employer willing to sponsor them. So this is the main criteria for different stream of skill in demand visa, which is employer sponsored visa subclass 482. The main advantage of this employer sponsored visa is there are few changes that the government has made recent in the previous year. They shorter the timeline. Previously, when people sponsored on other visa category, which was 457, the employer sponsor visa, then workers have to work at least 3 years with the employer who nominate and sponsor them, only then eligible to permanent residency. But now if you hold subclass 482 visa just for 2 years, then guaranteed PR pathway subclass 186 is available for you after this visa grant and 2 year of work experience. Secondly, longer waiting period, 180 days, which is extended last year. So now if you want to change employer or your company no longer exists and you have to go for the new nomination, so you have at least 180 maximum of 180 days, so you can change or shift to new employment or new business you can opt. And when this visa is granted to you and you work for almost 2 years, so your countdown begins and your permanent residency pathway just 2 years ahead after that. And third benefit is expanded skill occupation list for this visa subclass. Over 70 new occupations were added to the core skill occupation list, so expanding eligibility for data analysis, supply chain specialist, and childcare managers and trade workers as well. And the fourth but not the least, public sponsor register the government has providing. The Australian government introduced a public database of approved business sponsors, which allowing job seeker and graduate to easily identifying hiring businesses. So if you need to locate a business which can sponsor you in your particular area, so you can seek guidance from that register as well. So now you can see on the screen there is a straight head-to-head comparison between those visa subclasses. So if we see about the point test, if we compare all the skill visas with GSM visa 189 and 190, you can see that uh, in subclass 482 there is no point test, uh, and you can directly apply with this visa with the help of your employer sponsorship. But if you considering 189 option, definitely you have to go for point test, and similarly for subclass 189 as well, sorry, 190 as well. And secondly, sponsorship requirements. So yes, skill in demand visa requires employer sponsorship. There is no state or any other body sponsorship is required, only employer need to sponsor you. And there is no sponsorship for 189, but subclass 190 state sponsorship is required. Processing time, of course, the employer sponsored visa are very quickly processed. The minimum processing time is approximately 21 days, and for subclass 189 it's a irregular quarterly invitation round occurs. Then you apply for the visa, then it takes some months or a year at least to grant this visa. And similarly for subclass 190, you have to go through ROI process, then state nomination process, then visa application, and then Department of Home Affairs waiting time if you include. So it takes more than a year to grant this visa subclass. So pathway to permanent residency. So, skill in demand visa subclass 482 is not the permanent visa, but it leads to permanent residency within 2 years. If you hold this visa for 2 years and employer willing to sponsor you, so you can get guaranteed subclass 186 visa, which is a PR visa for us, for Australia. On the other hand, subclass 189 and some subclass 190, they are direct permanent residency visas. Now, another criteria is the work experience. For subclass 482, at least 1 year of work experience is required, and subclass 189 and 190, they are point-based visas, so you can get the points for work experience, but it is not mandatory. It depends how the invitation process going on. But of course, more work experience, more chances of getting the invitation. So overall, certainty if we count, so definitely the 482 is highly certain. It's employer dependent visa. So if employer is ready to sponsor, definitely you will get. If you're meeting the eligibility, you will definitely get this visa. On the other hand, certainty for subclass 189 is quite low because it is quite competitive. It depends upon your points. Higher the points, higher the chances of getting invitation. And on the other hand, subclass 190, again a medium certainty. So because it depends upon the seats allocation quota issued to the state governments. So for the main strategy, if you go towards employer sponsorship visa, so the main benefits are it's bypass the point pool. So instead of waiting, skills select, complete, engage thousands of, you have to complete NATI, professional years, and superior English, and rely on the points. So employer sponsor visa bypass all these things. You don't have to go ahead. and the English requirement is quite also quite low for these visa subclasses. And moreover, you will get the immediate work right to work on these visa subclasses. You can work full time as well, and definitely guaranteed PR pathway, as I said. So predictable PR countdown begins when this visa granted to you. So after 2 years while holding this visa, so you can apply permanent residency subclass 186 visa uh, after having this visa for 2 years on the TRT stream. Or even you can apply this visa for direct entry stream as well if you're meeting the English skill assessment and work experience requirements as well. So the minimum requirements to apply for these visas under employer sponsorship. If we talk about work experience, so only 1 year of work experience is required. So if you're meeting at least this work experience and the qualifications requirements as well, so you eligible to apply this visa, and these relevant qualification that could be certificate 3 level to certificate 4 diploma tertiary qualification like bachelor, masters, relevant to NJSCO occupation listed or the skill occupation list. And skill assessment, it is not mandatory for all the occupations. It's required for specific trade occupations and mandatory regulatory body, and depends upon the country of passport. English language skills, so very quite low English score is required for these visa subclass. The minimum standard is IELTS 5 each minimum, or you can go towards PT as well. PT 36 equivalent or higher is required. So standard Australian health examination, police clearance, they are quite common for most of the visa subclasses. And the most important thing is age criteria. So there is no age restriction to apply this visa subclass. But if you're going for permanent residency subclass 186 after holding this visa, then age requirements are there. So the minimum age requirement is 45, but still the exemption is available under this category. So when any employer going to sponsor you, so the main requirement from the employer is they must have standard business sponsorship. The business must be lawfully operating in Australia and approved as a standard business sponsorship sponsored by Department of Home Affairs. And business also have to conduct the labor market testing. So employer must advertise the position locally for at least 4 weeks or minimum 28 days in the past 4 months to apply the nomination for its employees, or if you want to hire any overseas employees. And also the employer have to meet the minimum tasmit range. The minimum criteria at the moment is 79,423 plus super. They have to give and meet the Australian market salary requirements as well. So these are the main requirements for the employer. And for the visa applicant, I already discussed in the last slides. So these are the minimum requirements for the applicant, and these are the minimum requirements from the employer. So the pathway to permanent residency. So in terms of subclass 186 TRT, the visa applicant can move to this pathway. They have to secure subclass 482 visa first, and then they have to have this visa at least for 2 years, and they have to work for the employer who nominated them during that time period. Can change the employer, but nomination have to be done. And after holding this visa for 2 years, and if employer continue to sponsor you, you can apply certain uh, a guaranteed PR in terms of 186 TRT visa, and which is a PR guaranteed, and this visa guaranteed within a year after in the TRT stream. But yeah, make sure when you go for permanent residency 186 TRT, so you have to meet some English language requirements and age requirements as well. So as I said, the age minimum age requirements is 45, but still exemptions are available under this category. So for 485 visa holders, I would like to say what strategy you have to apply when you're holding this visa. So which is a quite important time. So during this time duration, so use your temporary graduate visa 485 to accommodate your work experience. So at least minimum of 12 months of work experience is required, so you can cover up this work experience while holding 485 visa. And always target your roles with the occupation listed on the uh, NGESCO codes according to the skill occupation list, and position yourself as indispensable to your employer easily during your 485 tenure. So means if your 485 going to expire soon, so definitely you have to talk with your employer if he's willing to keep you and willing to sponsor you. So definitely then you have to consider this pathway, because it is a direct permanent residency pathway for your PR as well. So most of the occupation we have seen in the previous financial years, the visa applicants were sponsored under healthcare and aged care sectors. The registered nurses, aged care worker, allied health and medical practitioners, and also in IT industries, the software engineers, data analysis, cyber security specialists, network engineers, civil engineers, electronics, motor mechanics, chef, technicians, and commercial and social sector. The applicants like early childhood teachers, secondary school teachers, accountants, social workers, supply chain analysts. So all these sort of workers, um, the visa subclass is available for everyone. So, but the main thing is you need your employer had to sponsor you. So main pitfall or mistakes you have to avoid. So don't waste much time on waiting for subclass 189 and 189 invitation, because this process is quite competitive. Uh, you can wait if you have enough visa available, but if your visa validity going to expire within next 6 months or 1 year, even you should seek employer sponsorship if it is available for you. And don't forget to ignore salary threshold. So your employer definitely have to meet the Smith salary, which is currently 79,423, uh, and it again it's increased according to CPI for every financial year. So it is written as 76,515 on the screen, but it's raised to 79,423 from this July onwards. And third mistake, most of the people do the incorrect NGESCO mapping. So your occupation must match with your NGESCO code. Your nominated occupations must be exactly, and job responsibilities exactly the same what the NGESCO want. So while you're waiting for this visa subclass, so my advice is always take genuine migration advice from the registered migration agents. So what CCA can provide you, the CECA senior migration team led by registered migration agents. That we conduct full PR eligibility assessments for candidates and employer nomination compliance. We provide free initial migration pathway assessment, and we also provide end-to-end skill in demand 482 visa and subclass 186 PR processing. And also, with CCA, we work directly with Australian employers to handle standard business sponsorship application, labor market testing, compliance, and contract drafting. So there's all sort of work we will carry out and look after for you. We directly in communication with the employer. And also the CECA was established in 2006. It's a quite old time. We have almost more than 20 years of work experience in this industry. So you can positively rely on CECA for all your migration related queries, or even if you are seeking even education pathway as well. We also deals in education as well. And we do all sort of visa subclasses from general skill migration to employer sponsor stream, and all family visas or employer sponsored visas. uh, we do regional sponsored DAMA visas as well. So for all your migration enquiries are under one roof. So if you're ready to secure your PR pathway, please book one-to-one consultation with CCCA migration team. So thank you so much for your time today. And I'll let you go. If you have any inquiry, so our contact numbers are displayed over the screen, so you can contact us directly or visit us our nearest CCA office anytime from Monday to Friday. Thank you so much.